Are the Disney dining plans worth the cost of adding them to your Walt Disney World vacation package? That is a subject of huge debate. In this Disney World vacation video, I am breaking down the facts about Disney dining plans, how they work, who they may make the most sense for, who may want to skip them, and what promotions are available right now that could change the math. Let's talk about it. The truth is, there isn't one universally right or wrong answer when it comes to adding the Disney dining plan packages to your vacation stay. So today I am breaking it down piece by piece using just the facts to help you decide whether or not adding a dining plan to your vacation package makes sense for you. And if you want to see these plans in action, we already have 2 videos on the channel covering the current dining plans. We talk about our experiences, some of the challenges we encountered, and our thoughts after actually using them. In one of those videos, we take you along in real time as we use the standard dining plan and compare what we paid for the plan with what those meals would have cost us if we had simply paid out of pocket based on the menus. So definitely check those out after you're done watching this video. The very first thing that I tell anyone who asks me about the Disney dining plans is this: they are not specifically designed to save you money. A dining plan is essentially a way to prepay for your food using dining credits, adding your food budget to your vacation package along with your room and tickets. For some families, that can make a vacation to Walt Disney World feel more all-inclusive and make budgeting easier because you've already paid for a large portion of your food before you arrive. But Disney prices the plans based on the value of the food and beverages included across Walt Disney World. So whether you actually get more value when you pay depends on how you use your credits. And that's really the key. The dining plan isn't by nature a money-saving strategy. It's a vacation budgeting and convenience option that can provide good value for certain guests. Before we talk about the individual plans, let's talk about the credits themselves. There are 3 basic types of dining credits: quick service, table service, and snack credits. Quick service is Disney's version of a fast casual or fast food restaurant. You order your food at a counter or through the mobile order in your My Disney Experience app, pick your food up, find a table, and enjoy. A quick service credit generally includes 1 entree or entree combination with 1 beverage, and for guests ages 21 and older, that beverage can include an alcoholic option where available. Table service credits are used at Disney's full-service restaurants, where you generally get seated by a host or a hostess and are served at your table. This category also includes buffet-style dining. A table service meal generally includes 1 entree, 1 dessert, and 1 beverage. Again, guests ages 21 and older can choose an alcoholic beverage where it is available. One important thing to know is that appetizers and a la carte menu items are not included in your table service credit. Snack credits are probably the most difficult to explain because there is a pretty wide variety of items that qualify. A snack credit could be used for something as simple as a regular cup of coffee, which, by the way, please don't use a snack credit for a regular cup of coffee. Or it can be used for something much more substantial. You can find eligible snack credit items throughout the park, resorts, and Disney Springs, including seasonal treats and even many items at the festival booths at Epcot. Examples can include Mickey Premium ice cream bars, popcorn ice cream, churros, bakery items, seasonal treats, some refrigerated grab-and-go items, and select festival booth items. But this is important. Not everything that looks like a snack qualifies as a snack credit. For example, at Scat Cat's Cafe at Port Orleans French Quarter, you can order an order of 3 Mickey beignets versus an order of 6 Mickey beignets. The order of 3 qualifies as a snack credit, but the order of 6 does not. So always look for the dining plan symbol or ask a cast member if you're not sure. Each dining plan also includes a resort refillable mug for each guest on the reservation. The mugs can be refilled at self-service beverage stations at Disney-owned resort hotels. And here's a detail that some people don't realize. You can use your refillable mug at Disney-owned resorts throughout Walt Disney World, not just the resort that you're staying at. You can refill it with things like fountain beverages, coffee, and tea, but they do not work in the theme parks or at Disney Springs. Now let's look at the individual plans. The quick service dining plan includes for each guest per night of your stay 1 quick service meal credit, 1 snack or non-alcoholic beverage credit, 1 resort refillable mug. Here's examples. If you are staying for 3 nights and 4 days, each person receives 6 quick service credits and 3 snack credits, and you don't have to use those credits evenly across your vacation. Your credits become available beginning on your check-in day and can be used through midnight on your check-out day. At the time I'm filming this, the quick service dining plan is roughly $57 per night for guests ages 10 and older and $24 for children ages 3 to 9. Children dining plan prices and credits are based on children's menus where available. The second option is the standard Disney dining plan. This plan includes for each guest per night 1 table service credit, 1 quick service credit, 1 snack or non-alcoholic beverage credit, and 1 resort refillable mug. At the time I'm filming this, the standard Disney dining plan is roughly $95 per night for guests ages 10 and older and $30 for children ages 3 to 9. So let's put that into real numbers. For a 3-night stay with 2 adults and 2 children ages 3 to 9, the quick service dining plan would add approximately $486 to the cost of your room and ticket package. The standard dining plan would add approximately $750, and those prices are the same regardless of whether you are staying at a value, moderate, or deluxe Disney resort hotel. There are a few things about the credits that could make a big difference when deciding whether or not the plans are for you. First, you don't have to use your credits in a specific order. You're not assigned a certain number of credits to use each day. Instead, the credits are essentially pooled together under your reservation. For example, if you have 4 people staying for 3 nights and your plan provides 12 quick service credits, you have those 12 credits available to use during your stay. One person could use more than their share while another uses fewer. You can see your remaining credits in the My Disney Experience app under your resort stay. You could also pay out of pocket even if you have the dining plan. When you order, the cast member will typically ask you whether you'd like to use the dining plan credit. And remember that cup of coffee I mentioned earlier? You can absolutely pay cash or use another form of payment instead of using one of your valuable snack credits. That's an important strategy if you're trying to maximize the value of your plan. Some dining experiences require 2 table service credits instead of 1. This includes many signature restaurants and a number of character dining experiences. So if you're considering a dining plan and already know you want to book one of these experiences, make sure you understand how many credits it will require. Using 2 credits for 1 meal can dramatically change the value you're getting from the plan. For the deluxe Disney dining plan, I'm going to save the details of that plan for another video because I want to give you all of my attention it deserves, and by then we'll have more information and hopefully more real-world experience to share. Now let's talk about something that can change the math. At the time I'm filming this, Disney is offering a dining plan promotion for select 2026 vacations where children's dining plan costs can be included at no additional charge when qualifying guests purchase a dining plan with their vacation package. This is where promotions become really important. A dining plan that may not make financial sense at full price could look very different when a promotion reduces the cost, especially for families traveling with multiple children ages 3 to 9. So don't just look at the standard price of the dining plan. Look at the actual price you're being offered for your specific vacation. The dining plan may be a good fit if you like the idea of prepaying for your food. If knowing that a large portion of your food expenses are already taken care of, then that has value. If you're traveling with multiple children ages 3 to 9, especially during this promotion, the numbers can look very different when children's dining plan costs are reduced or included as part of an offer. If you plan to enjoy signature dining or character meals, if you're already planning higher priced dining experiences, you may be able to get more value from your credits. If you're traveling with teenagers, and this one is partly based on personal experience. I had 4 boys at once who could eat me out of house and home, truthfully. So for families with older kids or teenagers who eat substantial meals and aren't really interested in splitting anything, having a prepaid dining plan can be appealing. If you enjoy sitting down with your group to have meals at least once a day, if one of your favorite parts of a Disney vacation is sitting down together each day for a meal, the standard dining plan may fit naturally into the way that you already vacation. So who might want to skip the dining plan? There are some guests for whom I don't think a dining plan is necessarily the best fit. Light eaters. If you don't eat much, you may struggle to use enough of the credits to justify what you paid for the plan. People who like to split meals. Disney portions can be generous, and if your family regularly shares meals, paying out of pocket may give you more flexibility. Guests who primarily choose plant-based options. Plant-based menu items are often less expensive than some of the other entree choices, which can make it more difficult to maximize the value of a dining plan. And finally, anyone who doesn't want to feel tied to their dining credits. Maybe you want to wake up one morning and decide you're not hungry. Maybe you want to grab a snack instead of eating a full meal. Maybe you want to split an entree, or maybe you just want the freedom to decide what, when, and where you are eating once you are actually on vacation. If that's you, paying out of pocket may be the better choice. So back to the original question, are the Disney dining plans worth it? The answer, like most things when it comes to planning a Disney vacation, is it depends. I know that's probably not the definitive answer you were hoping for, but there really isn't one. The value of a dining plan depends on who you're traveling with, what you like to eat, where you want to dine, and whether having your food prepaid for makes your vacation easier and more enjoyable. Don't buy a dining plan just because you think you're supposed to. And don't automatically skip one because someone tells you they never save money with it. Run the numbers for your vacation. Look at the restaurants you actually want to visit and look at the meals you would realistically order. Consider your family's eating habits, and then decide whether the dining plan provides enough value for you. And remember, promotions can completely change the calculations. If you want to see how these plans actually worked out for us in real time with our experience, please check out those 2 videos that we have on the channel now here at Casey's Corner Views. We take you along, show you what we ordered, and compare the plan price with what we would have spent paying out of pocket. And if you're planning a Walt Disney World vacation and want help figuring out whether a dining plan makes sense for your particular trip, reach out to me through Disney Vacations. Until next time, keep planning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the parks.